So yes, it is indeed true. We now have official pictures. But Jasmine from the 90 Day Fiance franchise is pregnant. But not by Gino. No, by her boyfriend. Yes, you heard that right. Her boyfriend, Matt. So obviously we've seen that Jasmine and Gino have not had the best of relationships. It's been pretty rocky for quite some time. Even before they got married, it was not We just knew there was a lot of red flags. We could clearly see them, and they got ignored. And they were in quite a few 90 Day Fiance spin-offs before they ended up at The Last Resort, which I've talked about in another video. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link it here. But they, along with a few other couples that are clearly in some hot water, they're in some trouble. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to their marriage, it's just looking really interesting. But it really is the last resort for Gino and Jasmine, because we can see that they have not been intimate in quite some time, and that is really weighing on Jasmine. But Gino doesn't really seem to care. Everybody else in that show is just like, you're gonna lose her, man, you're gonna lose her. And he's just like, well, you know, like, it is what it is. He's so busy drinking with the guys, and it's just like, but that's not what you came here for. But okay. So at the end of the last episode that I watched from The Last Resort, we see that Jasmine calls Matt and she introduces him to Stacy and Julia. And they're having this chill conversation. You can tell she's very relaxed around him. But what I find interesting is that she found this man at the gym and she's calling him like that's her best friend, you know, like they're really cool with each other. Like he doesn't want to get inside her pants at all. He just wants to be her friend and support her. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure at any moment this man is ready to jump your bones. At any moment, any opportunity you give him, he will take it, okay? He will take it and sleep with you. He is probably making that very clear, but you're choosing to ignore it and keep him in the friend zone as long as possible. But what is so fascinating to me is that also in that show, in one episode, Jasmine is very open about it, and she's like, I really think we should open our marriage, because if you're not gonna give me what I need physically in this relationship, then I have to go get it from someone else. But Gino, of course, takes it to heart. He's just like, that cuts me deeply. Like, why would I even consider that? Things like that, right? And it's just like, well, I mean, it's a very real thing. If you're not giving someone the physical intimacy that they're needing or wanting, then it's like, what are you expecting from them? Like, she doesn't want to end the marriage. She wants to stay in it with you, but she needs what she needs. So what are we doing? You're not going to give it to her. So yeah, she found a solution. It's like, I could have been on Gino's side if he was actually giving her what she needed in the marriage. But the fact that he hadn't been intimate with her in so long, and he's busy watching Korn, it's just like, come on, my guy. Come on, like, be realistic. I don't condone cheating, and I said that in my other video, but at the same time, it's just like, it is what it is. She probably gonna end up cheating on you, which she clearly did, because I do think that they're still married, even though she's pregnant with another man's child and she's calling this man her boyfriend. So I'm still waiting on Gino to say something. I have not heard any statement from him, but if you guys have, let me know in the comments. But he doesn't strike me as like a social media person at all. Jasmine does, for sure. She posts way too much on Instagram, if I'm going to be honest. She's one of those people that I think impulsively kind of post about their life and share way too much, but at the same time, she is a reality star, so people are going to want to follow her for like updates, right? But the thing is, we haven't even finished The Last Resort. Like, all the episodes, I'm sure, have not been released yet. We have not seen the finale. It's just a big jump. It's just like, oh, okay, so where's Gino? what happened with that? Like, I'm really trying to figure that one out. Like I said again, like, I don't condone this because it still is cheating, but at the same time, I understand it. That's the frustrating part. I don't want to understand, but I understand, you know? So she had ended up making like an official post of her pregnancy over on her Instagram. But what I also saw while I was over there was actually a video of her. She looked like she was crying. Yeah, she was basically crying. You could see it in her eyes, like it's very glazed over. You could see her getting very emotional about the fact that Gino, when they get to the resort, in The Last Resort, the show, he didn't even want to sleep in the same room with her, let alone the same bed. So it was just like, oh wow, Gino, like, you're not even giving her what she wants physically, but y'all can't even sleep in the same bed or room. Like, It's very interesting to me. And then she also posts something that I thought might have been kind of cryptic, but not really, because we could clearly see that their marriage is falling apart. But the quote says, when you're choosing a life partner, forget the fairy tales, forget the checklists, forget the idea that love alone is enough. It's not. Attraction fades, chemistry fluctuates, and even the best relationships will, at some point, feel like work. What matters is who you're standing next to when ish gets real. Who stays when you're messy, moody, lost, or difficult to love? Who chooses you? Not just when it's easy, but when it's inconvenient, frustrating, and super exhausting. I support that for sure, but at the same time, you do have to take into account and also take some accountability for your actions in said relationship as well. Like, you can't just be out here acting as crazy as Jasmine was all the time, 24/7, and feel like your partner is gonna stick around and just be okay with that. So that's the part that I support Gino with in terms of trying to get her in check. So that's like the only part where I'm on Gino's side. But after that, it's like you could clearly tell that she is trying. She's trying to get back on track, but Gino is not trying to do that. Like, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he didn't even want to like kiss her, for crying out loud. Like, geez, not even a peck on the cheek? God dang. So it was just very uncomfortable to watch like them interact with each other on the last resort. So like I said, I don't condone, but I understand. Right? Like, we listen and we don't judge, pretty much. I think that's what Julia and Stacey was doing when they met Matt on the phone. They were like, we listen, we'll meet him, we won't judge you. Just looking at the situation that she's in, it's just like she's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. But what I definitely would have done if I was in Jasmine's shoes is try to at least figure out, like, push just a little bit longer. Give it like maybe one more year. And then if it doesn't work out, like, y'all might have to divorce, you might have to go back to Panama. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what's gonna happen now, considering she's pregnant with another man's child and she's still technically just like a green card holder. Y'all let me know how that works in terms of being in the US. Like, I don't know if they're divorced, like how does that work if you divorce after just a short period of time and you're not like a citizen yet? You know, I don't know. Let me know how that works, but I'm very curious. But either way, what I would have done is push a little harder. Okay, just a little bit harder for a little bit longer. Could be very frustrating, obviously. But I do think the fact that she's jumping into another relationship, number one, and number two is already jumping into having a child with that person as well. It's like, ooh. And I also found out that her unborn child is currently dealing with a heart condition. So my prayers are obviously being sent out for that, but it's just like, geez, you have 2 other kids back in Panama, Jasmine. Like, you know, what's happening with them? Obviously, there was some issues in terms of paperwork, Gino filing something not the right way. He should have filed everything one time so they could be processed and could come over with Jasmine to the States. It was just really exhausting watching them try to work through their problems. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, what y'all think about it. It would have been one thing if she was just in a relationship with someone. The fact that she got pregnant too, it was just like, whoa, that's a lot of information at once. Congratulations, but what the heck happened to your marriage? Like, what's going to happen with the last resort, these last couple of episodes? What are we to anticipate? What should we be expecting? You know, the end of a marriage, the end of a relationship? Like, I don't know. If Gino wasn't as quiet as he is right now, we probably would have had a little bit more of an understanding about like the scope of the situation. But yeah, we don't have his side of the story, so I don't know what's happening there. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.